session, like have kind of specific topics to hit on a Monday, that kind of thing, and then come Thursday, just do kind of more of a free flowing, just kind of talk about stuff we got going on, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Someone at the University of Georgia viewed your profile. Ooh, the what?
Don't be dealing with those bulldogs.
Apparently, I can just follow the University of Georgia.
Huh.
Neat.
Oh, that's fucking
You're-
camera, dude. I'm ordering my new webcam this weekend.
Financial Line is streaming Just Chatting.
Oh,
Come hang out. Is that your title? Just come hang out, or?
The title, that might be my notification. The title I just did, so you want to start a business.
Yeah. Let me hurry up and mute Twitch before I have a triple echo going. I've got too many tabs open. Today was one of those days where it was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all this stuff done, and then it just
Didn't happen.
didn't. It just didn't. It, like, I was busy all day, keeping shit moving, talking to people, that kind of thing. So I actually did.
Mhm.
I invited. By the way, I forgot to tell you, invited a dude to the Upwork agency.
Yeah.
So I was in a wake, like, young alumni, or not a young alumni, more like a middle alumni thing.
Mm-hmm.
For an hour, and he basically had done some marketing stuff previously, had been involved in the nonprofit space, big operational stuff like that. So it was like, well, you're kind of unemployed. Well, he's not unemployed, but he's working at Whole Foods right now,
Yeah.
looking for new opportunities. And was like, well, if you've got a bunch of operational experience on the nonprofits as well as doing marketing, he's like, I can put you to work.
Do it. Worth a shot, man.
So figure, we'll see what happens. I figure if he's got a wake degree, he's probably not stupid, but we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But invited him, told him, go ahead and invited the profile. Kind of mentioned, because he said, yeah, I'd consider doing, he'd consider doing freelance stuff before, but didn't really ever take the plunge and all that.
Right.
So I said, go ahead, we'll do it under this. It gives a little bit more marketing oomph for what you want to do, because you can basically do it under our banner. And I figure, because I said, spend the next week and figure out what are the different tiers of services that you can offer, things that you could do now for like basic stuff, like basic marketing and stuff like that, things where it's a little more involved, and then the things where, it's the moneymaker, but it's a little more fewer and far between. And he said he definitely is, he appreciated, because it was just it's like not really a networking thing, but more of all right, you're hitting like the middle of your career, what are you going to do next? Which ironically, I was the youngest person there and probably had the best idea of what I was going to do next. They were all like, yeah, we're kind of sitting here, either unemployed or in their jobs and unsure of what's going next. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm here to network and look for other people for other marketing opportunities, or, business networking opportunities, because that's how it works. It was like, I kind of know what my general plan is make more money.
That's always a good goal.
Ooh, that reminds me, before I forget, I should put on the no copyright sounds.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that lo-fi hip-hop going in the background.
Copyright free chill step. That's a little loud. There we go. Alright, so yours is up, mine's up, and here we are.
Once again.
I should eat these burritos that I've got in front of me.
Yeah, don't starve.
Dude, I had to remind myself to eat today. It was one of those days.
Oh, it's one of those days. Those are the best.
You need to put on the no copyright Slipknot.
No copyright Slipknot. I like your style, Joey. I knew I liked you.
He was unsure until this moment, but that right there,
That just
that was the deal breaker. That
that's-
was the deal breaker.
What are the deal breakers? That just
I wonder if we
cemented
could-
it.
I wonder if we could do if we got a little bit of a following going, so like 3 people,
Yeah,
could do like a sponsored session with our former employer.
be sweet.
Just do a round with every partner at the firm.
Oh god.
So, you say you're the horse's mouth, is that correct? What are you talking about?
Why, yes,
Nothing.
yes, I am. Finally, you like me.
I also wonder if Monday's just a shitty day to try doing a podcast. Like,
I've
I really do wonder.
I've wondered that because Monday, like even before we joined up doing it, Monday on the stream was just always low, man. I feel like people are just down and out after work on Mondays.
I almost feel like we'd be better off doing like Friday or Saturday.
I think so too, man. Because I've noticed like at least a lot of the big streamers I follow like don't stream Fridays or Saturdays. So that's also possibly a good opportunity to soak up extra viewers that aren't
Yeah.
like on some channel somewhere, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, who fucking knows? It's all luck anyway.
Pretty much, dude.
Twitch sales and online dating are the exact same thing.
Just swipe until you see something you like.
Is that? I mean, that's how I do all my sales. Sorry, I mean dating. I get the two confused because I end up sending the same emails. Hey, baby, you looking for a bookkeeper? Shit.
Whoa, this music I got on in the background just had the little Navi sound from Ocarina of Time. Hey! I was like, oh my god.
Heart starts racing. Oh, shit.
What did I miss?
Tell you how to use the goddamn ocarina after you've already been doing it for like 10 hours. Oh, man.
But hey, we got more people tonight at least. Thanks, Joey, for coming on.
Well, considering that our usual bar is literally nobody, it's not, like, we can't get worse.
Yep, usually I've got one viewer in the chat, and it's me.
I think the only way we could get worse is if we were streaming and somebody broke into our houses and dragged us away from the stream. Because I think that would count as a negative viewer. Like, they hated it so much they tried to kick our ass about
It's
it.
like, not even you is watching your stream.
Or just one of those where you just go, you know what, this is such shit, why am I doing this? And then you don't even kill it, you just get up and leave.
Oh, Joey playing Warzone. I see you. I see you. I still don't have the space on my PC to play that game.
Wouldn't you have to delete like half the shit on your PC?
Yeah, dude, I don't have enough space. The game itself was like 150 gigs or something. And
That's
until
why
I
you
get
gotta get
until I get my
2
new hard
terabyte
drive, I don't have
external.
enough. So I've got 43 gigs free right now.
I'm gonna turn down the music just a smidge. No, don't full screen.
Dude, what's that next Call of Duty they got coming out? It's like Cold War or something.
Yep.
I'm
Or
interested
Call
to
of
see how
Duty
that
War
turns
Crimes, I
out.
think is what they're called.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm full of shit. That's not what it's called.
Oh, I was like, all right.
They're just going straight for it.
No holds barred on the names.
Call of Duty, let's go kill third world citizens. Call of Duty Willie Pete. Or Call of Duty, acceptable casualties. I watched a video where they went through, I think it was like the Modern Warfare campaign, and we're like, that's a war crime? That's a war
Yeah.
crime? That's a war crime?
Joe, you already pre-ordered it. Nice.
I did find some funny things where it had the screenshot of like Reagan, and it was making fun of the other Call of Duty, but it said press F to smuggle crack to the inner city.
The good old war on drugs. Call of Duty war on drugs.
The reviewers are just like, well, you know, we don't really know what the whole point of sending the military into the inner city to just shoot random citizens is for a 20-hour campaign. 9 out of 10. Fucking IGN's just like, this is the greatest shoot the minorities simulator we've ever played.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
They're just really like, 10 out of 10, world needs less minorities. Just like, IGN, what? You can't say that. Although with how things are doing, you know what I'm waiting for after Call of Duty Cold War?
What?
Call of Duty Portland.
Peaceful protesting.
It'll be like the Modern Warfare scene, the No Russian,
Yeah.
where they're stepping out to go gun down the airport, except it's
Yeah.
just protesters in Portland. And instead of sparking a war, like that's the only level, and it just
That's
just
it.
ends.
You have successfully saved Portland. Order is restored.
Oh god, fucking Portland. I'm still not convinced like real people live in Portland.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen Portlandia, haven't you?
I never watched that show.
So I've never actually seen it, but I've watched clips of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the people that leave comments that are like, "I wish I could say that Portland isn't like this, but this is spot on." Like the intro song is just the dream of the '90s is alive in Portland, and I think what was it, the Chad Zone? Is that what they were calling it?
Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah.
It was something really stupid where you were like, you know, if this was an Onion article, I wouldn't believe it.
Totally. Yeah.
It was like the Chad Autonomous Zone, just like, no, like, this is just a 4chan thing. You're kidding.
Right.
Oh man, boy, we have talked about literally everything but what the title of the stream is.
We got to get it all out of the way up front.
So you want to start a business? Step 1: don't start a business in Portland.
Right. It won't last very long.
Or if you want to start a business in Portland, here's what you do: you just need to pick some adjectives that use words like nature and organic and feel good feelings, and then just sell it to the rich assholes that live in Portland. There you go. That's your business model. That's it.
Don't have a physical location. Just sell it online.
Don't go into Portland. Like, definitely don't do that. But just sell to the people in Portland. Like, it's kind of like if you touch the city, like it's got you, you know. So you don't want to touch it. You don't want to catch
Yeah.
Portland.
Portland's got him now.
What happened to Jim? Got a case of the Portland. What's he
Portland's
doing
got
now? He's living out of the van in the city.
He did it before it was cool.
Wasn't Van Dwelling in like 10 years ago? No. Now it's so much later that it's actually early.
It's come back around.
Everything. Portland is just a circle. It's like if you were cursed by a witch to only live in the 90s, but then like the witch was kind of blind and just like whatever. The curse is like that general direction.
Yeah.
That was Portland. I was like, what year is it? 1998. We're in 2098. Not here.
Am I coming over tomorrow? Maybe. I didn't know Heather
better
was
hope-
gone. I didn't know you're having people over though.
Dude, you know if Heather's gone, shit's gonna be lit.
It's just going down, baby.
I don't know who Heather is, but I'm assuming it's gonna be lit. Is that what the kids say these days? Lit?
Lit. It's gonna be on fire.
Literally, we're burning the place down.
Not in Portland though.
Heather's not gonna be there. You want to commit insurance fraud? That's lesson number 2 when you're trying to start a business. Do not commit insurance fraud. So we should have. So that's what we'll do during the week. Is we'll have one day that'll be the here's what you need to do to start the business, and then we'll have the other one that says here's what you don't do to start a business. So step 1, live in Portland. Number 2, don't commit insurance fraud.
Don't burn it down. Just the boys.
Where'd the music go?
Yeah, man. Let me make sure. I think I can come. I'll text you, man. But it sounds like a great time.
Why am I?
Boys'
Why am
nights
I
are the
watching
best.
this? Why am I watching my video and not the live stream?
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm confused. What am I doing? There we go. Now there's the live one. With my solid zero viewership. Yeah, it was funny though. The so in that networking thing, or not networking, the alumni thing I was in, the woman
Yeah.
running it was like, yeah, she could never be an entrepreneur because you know, she really relies on that paycheck and the health benefits and kind of the regularity of things.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, paychecks are nice. Health benefits, nah, you don't need those. Just don't get hurt.
Or sick.
You know, don't get cancer. Don't get sick. Don't get hit by anything. You'll be fine.
You'll live forever at that point.
Yeah. Just don't die. It's a simple thing.
It's really not that hard.
I mean, at any moment, I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. You're either living at any particular moment or you're dead. So if you think
Wouldn't
about,
that be more of like 0 to 100?
you can't be partly dead.
Like it's either on or it's off, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50. You're either alive or you're dead. But if you think about it, right? So what are the odds of being dead? If each moment has a 50% probability, and you're going to be dead for the rest of eternity, I mean, that's just 0.5 to the million whatever. I mean, that's such an infinitesimally small number, it means you'll never die.
You're good.
Yeah. I think Schrodinger was talking about that, him and his cat.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. You know, the guy who was like, quantum physics is stupid, you're all stupid, and then they were like, yeah, well, so are you, because that's what we see. I don't know. I got a buddy of mine who's into quantum physics,
Yeah.
or knows it better than I do. I know just enough to say I have no idea how quantum physics works.
No. Does anybody really?
There's probably like 3 people on the planet that understand it.
I am most certainly not one of those
Yeah.
people.
Oh man, my humor.
But I do know how businesses work.
I mean, man, we're lucky to know how businesses are supposed to function.
We had trial by fire in that aspect. Dude,
Is
I even
there
did a little
like a-
pre-research before this one. I basically
Ooh,
just
look at-
did what we did last time and like looked at a couple articles.
Ooh, let's pick articles. Let's use other people's content to generate our own.
Let's see. There was one on the SBA website that was pretty much kind of what we talked about last time, but
Did you just search like how to start a business?
yeah, I think I literally just Googled start a business.
Oh yeah, SBA.gov.
10 steps to
Thanks,
start a
SBA.
business.
Absolutely.
That's it.
conduct market research. You know what I really love? I love that it's just do some market research.
Dude,
Like, all you gotta do.
I thought that too, and that's like the third article we've read. That's one of the top steps is like just do some market research. It's okay.
I'm not gonna tell you how you do market research. Just picture the market. Okay. Now do some research.
Now research it.
Yeah, just research what you've pictured in your head, and you'll be good to go. That's it.
Yeah. Not that simple.
What was it?
Nor would I think that would be the first step of starting a business.
No, the first step is like figure out what you can do. Do some market research. Oh, so they are operating under the assumption you've already got an idea. Okay, I see.
Oh.
So you got an idea, right? So you've wanted.
That's like step 0.
Right. So step 0 is you come up with your idea, right? So I think I think my music is a little too loud. Step 0 is come up with the idea that you need to make shark-proof windows for residential homes. So I guess for this, it's now you need to do market research into the market for shark-proof windows.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the window market? How many sharks are there? I mean, that's it. You just divide the market by the sharks, and that tells you the potential market share per living shark that the shark, if it got onto land, could do damage to the market.
Via Sharknado.
Yes. You may have to throw tornadoes in there to kind of really get an accurate shark per market share like damage counter, but that's minor details. You adjust your financial model in Excel to incorporate the tornadoes.
There you go.
So now you have to write your business plan. Roadmap for how to structure, run, and grow your new business. You'll use it to convince people that working with you is a smart choice. So the thing about getting outside investors, and this is the one point where I'll get a little actually serial, is so when you're looking at outside investors, right, particularly when they are angel investors, which I want to know what Genius marketed themselves as an angel investor. Because the last I checked, the Bible doesn't talk about angels just being a bunch of degenerate gamblers, but hey, maybe I missed it. It's probably in Leviticus. All angel investors do is they go, you can probably make some money here, have some cash. I'm going to tell you what to do with your business because I'm looking to, make a 10-bagger because my other 9 investments are going to go tits up.
Yep.
Which is a terrifying thing when you think about it, that when you have an angel investor investing in you, if 90% of his investments go tits up and he picks 10 of them, it means you have a 90% chance to fail, and that's just how statistics work.
Mm-hmm.
You only have a 10% chance of being the one that succeeds. Also, they tend to get really bitchy. They get really bitchy when they start giving you money, and it's usually just not worth it.
Yeah, I would think that is kind of I guess funding your business is like a critical step, but it depends on what you're doing, man. Like, I would say 99% of people don't need anyone's outside funding aside from like a bank to start a business.
And really, a lot of it is, the first thing you really genuinely want to do is to go back to those 3 steps that we talked about last week that we should probably bring up in every single episode.
Oh, I wrote them down.
The 3 steps to get started. Get the work, get paid, do the work. And that is just how you start. First, you've got to convince them that you can perform the work. Then you need them to pay you.
Don't do the work before you get paid.
Right. That whether that's a deposit up front so that you can get material or, whatever it's got to be, then you get paid at least some, and then you worry about doing the work later. If you're in more of the service industry, that's where you try to figure out, all right, what research do I need to do to actually do this? How the hell do I do an S-Corp return? You know, that's where you get into the, all right, when you look at like an hours per dollar, it's like $5 an hour because you spent 60 hours researching everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, now you know that for the future. And then you can repeat that for a little bit of get the work, get paid, do the work. And then you can get into that structure of, you know, get the work, then do the work, and then get paid afterwards when you have a little more of a rigorous layout. But in the beginning, it's like just figure out what can you do on your own. If you're like, I need
Right.
$50,000 to make this work, you better stash up some money there to burn through that to do it on your own, and not, well, I'm going to go take out a loan for $100,000 to start manufacturing shark-proof windows,
Yeah.
and then you'll have $100,000 worth of shark-proof windows that literally nobody wants because sharks don't usually leave the water. And
Typically.
for whatever reason, that never came up in your business plan, and nobody to that point told you sharks are aquatic creatures and don't usually get up on the land, and you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the tough thing is so many people try to say they've done or like made a business by themselves, but that is mostly not the case. So I think one of the first steps you got to do is find people that can help you in stuff like that. Like even as simple as reviewing your business plan or something like that.
Yeah, somebody to tell you that's stupid.
Yeah.
You're stupid. You know,
that's a severely undervalued thing.
Plus, I think a lot of people, when it comes to starting businesses, they kind of start with the wrong idea. And I don't mean the idea of the business, the wrong idea in how businesses start in general. It's not like you'll see on Shark Tank where they'll be like, we've got this great product or whatever, and we want to market it and blah, 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 and do all that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, for what's feasible for, you know, people to actually create some sort of business, it's not a, I've got this $1 million idea, right? It's, what do you know how to do? What can you do? And there is a need for elsewhere in your area,
Yeah.
the country. You know, what need can you meet on your own to do that? You know, so it's not so much a shark-proof windows as, you know, it is maybe they need a security review for their house, you know, or like a weakness test, you know, that kind of thing. So it's
right.
it's that.
And dude, that's
that
one reason like I love that
misunderstanding.
show too, is a lot of the people you see come on there that get deals have been at it for 3, 5, however many years. And a lot of the people that come on with just an idea don't end up getting anything because they've got a product and not an actual business. So
Yeah.
that kind of is supportive of not getting outside funding in your business too early.
There's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, you can get a pretty decent minimum viable product, usually by your own funding. You know, you need. We're not talking about moving 15,000 units of something. I mean, if you're in the product space of you want to sell some sort of stuff, right? Because everyone wants to be the next Amazon, which Amazon's big thing is not even the products. Their selling point was the logistics system that they created, right? Which is something that they could start out and scale, is the logistics of the orders going through everything, how all the orders get routed, the goods being in the warehouse, all that stuff. Like, that is their business. It's not the shit that they're selling. They can sell whatever the hell they want. You know, it's how do you move the product? How do you get it from point A to point B? That's their, you know, their competitive advantage. Now their competitive advantage is that Bezos is just trying to buy out Congress. But usually when you're starting out, you can't really do that.
Not typically.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, then more power to you. I mean, that right there. If you can just legislate your business into existence, then, you know, go right ahead.
Go on with it.
Go ahead, buy some congressmen and just have at it. But you know, I mean, it's not about selling the product, having this product. It's you've got to. It really comes down to what do people need? What is a need that they have that they're going to go out and get? You know, and usually the easiest thing is to think about, well, what do you have? And it's a serious thing, not a man I wish I had a plunger that could plunge all the toilets in my house at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, sure, you could market that, and the poor bastards that actually have a need of that, I feel sorry for them.
They've got other issues.
Yeah, it's more of then at that point you could offer therapy services for the individuals whose every toilet in their house is clogged. Like you're an ear to talk to as they can talk about the fact that their house is just overflowing. But see, that's the need, is the the marketing, or not the marketing, the therapy services. Where was I going with that?
I don't know, man. But it kind of related, I guess. In a little bit of my pre-research or something, I came across one thing that I really liked, and I wrote it down. Talking about, don't take forever to launch your business. Which related to what you're saying, it doesn't take much to develop really like a minimum viable product for your company. You could sit there all day writing a business plan, getting this perfect process into place, but it's not ever going to come to fruition until you start selling that product. And a lot of the stuff you won't figure out until you start selling it,
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been, involved in running businesses or in whatever thing that you're looking to do for a very long time, I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. So the only thing you can really get out and do is you're not figuring out the 20 steps that it's going to take you to get to your end goal of doing millions in revenue every year.
Right.
Right? Like, you can't plan that out. It's practically impossible. The most you can do is basically get about 2 steps ahead of what do I need to do now and what do I need to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you just repeat that cycle. I mean, that's
like, how do I get to this next step?
Yeah, I mean, that's, with as early as I am and getting, as we are, as getting the firm going, it's like we can't plan a year from now because we have no idea what's going to happen in the meantime. Our plans are like maybe a week long at most.
Yeah.
Of what's going to happen, because you just never know, because every day that goes by is a different test of, all right, I thought this was going to happen, this didn't pan out, we've got to do it again. I thought this order or this sale was going to go through, or we were going to get this contract, get this nice payday. Instead, they picked a full hire, and fuck them. I didn't say that out loud. But there's
like, shit, I didn't realize our fee was that high.
Apparently they just hired someone full-time to do what we wanted, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's you just have to constantly, like, every day, every week, just reassess what happened, what's going on, where are we sitting. Whether that's taking a step back and thinking on your own, talking to somebody totally disconnected from the process and saying, here's what happened, what do I do now? You've got to take small baby steps to eventually get to the end result.
Right.
Like, the one thing I have found over the last 6 months I've been doing this, which when I say it out loud makes it sound like I have no idea what I'm doing. It's pretty accurate. Is, it's kind of like when you go for a long run and you hate running. Like, I'll go for like a 7-mile run. And if I think about how far 7 miles is, I just go, I don't really want to do this. Like, this is gonna suck. There's like, you think miles ahead and you go, God, that is a long way to get there and back, and I could go lay down. Instead, it's like you just look, like, usually I just end up staring like about 6 or 7 feet in front of me, try to zone out away from how shitty I feel, think about something else, and just kind of go. Right? You're not thinking about the half mile that you've got to do, or the mile, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 30, 100 miles, the time it's going to take. You just focus on where do I need to go now, these next 6 feet. Watch out for that rock, otherwise I'm going to twist an ankle. And you just keep doing that over and over, and it's hard to stay focused like that, to kind of disregard the future in a way and just do today. Which sounds kind of counterintuitive when they talk about have the business plan and all that, and it's like, after a certain point, like, you just got to get out and just fucking do it. Like, like, yeah, there are opportunities where you can plan out long term what's going to happen, but they end up being more of these are the points we need to hit, and they're kind of general and vague and open to interpretation for how to get there. It's a what do we need to do to deal with today's problems or this week's problems, and then you just keep focusing on that.
Yep. Amen.
Learning from experience is a bitch. My God.
Preach it, man.
You know, as you're out doing that, you also have to disregard the like, am I actually gonna make enough money this month? Nope, no. Put those thoughts away. Like you can't. In a weird way, you can't think of that. Otherwise, it's just gonna paralyze you.
I mean, in a way, it's irrelevant too. Like, it's still relevant, but like, it doesn't change the fact that you are doing this, and you have to make it work. What was that?
Yeah,
Is that a cinnamon roll?
Maybe. Maybe I'm tired enough. I want a cinnamon roll at 9:15 at night.
No wonder you stay up till like 2 a.m.
Okay. Feeling a little attacked here, even though you're absolutely right. Like, fuck off.
Called out on the live stream.
Look,
hey man,
my sleep...
you eat your cinnamon roll if you want it.
Just because my sleeping patterns have been foobarred for the last 6 months because I'm just in the same place without really getting the chance to go anywhere. Just working and working out. And every day that goes by feels shorter and shorter.
That's the truth too.
Goddamn cinnamon roll.
It's the little things, man. It's like, I can't believe tomorrow's already Friday, dude. This week like flew by. It's like I just sit in my office all day, and before you know it, it's 5 o'clock, work is over, and then it's Friday.
Man, I tell you the hard part is with being self-employed is that at least I will say you've got the benefit of I'm trying to get my volume to be a little quiet or a little louder. Is you've got the weekends to kind of break things up.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that it's Saturday, it's Sunday, you get to just kind of chill.
Right.
And a client just messaged me at 9:15.
Doesn't he know it's past working hours?
Well, he's trying to start a business, so he's working probably more than we even are.
Yeah, tell him to come on the, you should send him a link to the Twitch stream.
We've had similar talks about a lot of this stuff. He sent me over a kind of a financial projection, and it's one of those where he's like, does this seem all right to you? And it's like, well, yeah, the problem with projections, especially like now, is that you can basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Because nobody has any idea what's going to be happening.
Oh, hell no. I mean, that's one thing we're even trying to figure out at work, dude. It's like nobody knows how to... We're basically switching our budget model over and developing like a forecasting system. It's taken since COVID started, and it's still not finished. And this is a huge organization, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, really, in these days, it's like, especially, and that's my issue a lot of these times with, like, what they say market research or business plan, is that you can't fucking project shit, really.
No.
I mean, projections always look great and wonderful and fantastic, and they never...
Yep.
Revenue never decreases, like, from year to year, ever.
I've never seen a projection I don't like.
You know, it's like we're gonna do 5,000 in revenue, then 50,000, then 1 million, then 100 million, and then the GDP of the United States. It'll be great. 5 years, logarithmic growth. Just gonna,
right?
You know, but that's why it's like I did a quick look over, and it's like, yeah, I mean, things look pretty legit. I mean, I see where you're pulling all your numbers from. You're all kind of using it going from there. It's like, the problem is you just can't project shit, especially nowadays. I mean, nobody knows what's going on.
Dude, that could be legitimately a whole topic for one night of this podcast. It's just developing financial projections for your company that you are just starting. Or it could be really simple.
I was gonna say, I don't know how long we could talk about that. When the lesson would be, you can't forecast shit.
Pretty much.
Like, the only way you can kind of forecast is if you've had those businesses going on for like you've done this type of business multiple times, and things are relatively similar to the other times you do it, so you have that kind of baseline for if you take these actions in a similar economy, you'll probably end up having this similar sort of growth. The problem is that the economy now has literally never been like this before, so all bets are off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like CNN just pushed an article to my phone saying that the stock market is flashing a warning sign. Speaking of things that, you know, you can't predict, I mean, at the beginning of the week, stocks only go up, is basically what everyone thought. So,
yeah. And then like, today happens and the Dow fell, 700 points or something like that?
I think it's because, like, Fauci went out and said that we're not going to have a vaccine before 2021. But, you know, it's stuff like that. I mean, you and I think that's what really gets into the, you know, just like almost the Nike motto of just do it, is that you can sit around and plan and project and model and forecast all you want, but until you actually sit down and make product and start moving product or start performing services, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, maybe your hopeful models were good, or maybe you find out that, wow, this is a lot harder than I thought.
Good thing, dude. It looks like a damn lollipop.
Don't you fucking judge me. You're just mad you don't have a giant cinnamon roll.
That's what it boils down to, pretty much.
What you can see, though, is if I hold this up to the cameras, you can actually see the lines in there.
Ooh.
That is actually my revenue forecast.
It's like you're reading palm charts or something. Like you're a freaking astrologist over here, dude, with your business projections. It's written in the cinnamon roll.
How'd you get those numbers? Well, what I did was I took the leftovers from the cinnamon roll that I was eating and I arranged them into numbers. But how'd you come up with those numbers? I used my fingers.
And it came out to $1 million. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, man, he's typing a lot.
What, are you, like, chatting with him or something?
He just... Because he works full-time. I'd have to kind of relook over again. I mean, the news that I don't want to give him is basically like, he goes, do you think this is like relatively legit or whatever? And it's like, the problem, and he's like, does this look realistic? And it's like, the problem is these days, like, you can't, assumptions that were held true last year that you could use to base things off of, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's still, you can't rule out the possibility that we're going to go into a deeper recession here in the
you never know
in the near future. So, you know, because there are those stressors that are there in the system. So
it's like just using that huge caveat that we always learned in econ classes of all else equal. You know, if everything stays the same, this is legit.
It's like in physics when they were like, this is a uniformly temperatureless, airless vacuum with no friction.
Yeah.
Which means that it's fake.
A perfect world.
Yes, it is a perfect world. Actually, it's in Portland.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, even in normal times, projections are a beast to deal with. Because no one thinks the same to begin with, so how you even find common ground in them is hard. It all comes down to your assumptions, pretty much.
Yeah, which usually, you get out and you start doing things and you go, wow, those assumptions were stupid.
Yeah. Yep. Or someone else with experience looks at it, with experience in that industry or something, and they look at it and they're like, what the fuck is this? It's like, this is not right.
Let me respond to this real quick. I'm basically just going to tell them what we're talking about.
Yeah, you're good. You are good. Well, let's see. We got to like step 3, I think, of our 10
We're only at
steps.
3 of 10. I mean, at this rate, we're going to be talking for another like 6 hours.
Dude, and step 4 is business location. Physical business location, I think it was saying, which is really easy to talk about because in these times, you don't want one. Oh, I think, did I close out of that article? I think I did. Whoa. My mouse just disappeared. Okay, there it is. Business location and legal structure. Oh, and then comes your business name. Step 6.
Names aren't that important, if we're being real.
That's true. Everyone knows you start out with a fancy name and then you work your way up.
Yeah. Fund your business. Your business plan will help you figure out how much money you'll need to start your business. No, when you actually start doing it and realize you don't have the money for everything that you need,
then you've got a pretty good idea of how much to fund your business.
Yeah. Pick your location.
One of the most important decisions you'll make in these days, even before COVID, man, I would have argued do everything remotely as much as possible and don't get a freaking office.
Because those business locations are so goddamn expensive.
It's so expensive.
And it's just not worth it.
Now, these are the times we're going into, man. Everyone wants the virtual meetings.
Oh, Scott told me he hasn't had any in-person client meetings since March.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy, though. Just thinking back to, like, how some of these audit meetings went. And trying to do that virtually. Register your business. Get federal and state tax IDs. Apply for licenses and permits. You definitely want to make sure you stay legally compliant.
Yeah, don't break the law.
Hopefully you've chosen a business
probably a
that
good
doesn't
one.
require a whole lot of that.
Yeah. The problem with a lot of them is, like, for example, setting up... I think one of our recommendations should be like, so just don't do business in New York and California.
Yeah.
Because they suck. Yeah, get federal and state tax IDs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, a lot of this
Apply
is
for
kind of just like...
licenses, open a business bank account, and then just go do business. Go be a business.
Go do the business. Congratulations, it's time to cut the big ribbon. The SBA does have some pretty good resources, though, I will say. I think it was their like business plan template I had looked through before, and it was actually pretty legit. Funding programs. Entrepreneur.com. Starting a business isn't what you think. Here's what to expect instead. Number 1, your stress may go up, not down. It may seem intuitive that when you're not answering to a boss, you'll have more control over your day-to-day activities and less stress. Research shows that's not the case, though. 64% of workers expect to be less stressed. However, only 55% actually end up that way. I don't know how that's possible, dude.
What, that 55% of people say that they
Are less stressed?
Well,
I guess in a way, but in other ways you're totally more stressed.
I'm probably less stressed now than I was working for the firm.
I could see, yeah, I mean...
Because it like, in a weird way, it's like, yeah, I'm responsible for making sure I still get paid, but, like, I do have ultimate control over that.
Yeah.
And I know that I can find the work. So, in general, I mean, I'm not...
Yeah.
I probably am less stressed than I was working for it. Just the stress, it's different.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's all different. I'm just basically telling this guy because he's like, I told him, I was like, if you want to plan around future performance, start with a worst case scenario and try and plan around that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's the world we live in right now. Here's the ones that would be great if COVID disappeared. Here's the boring ones that show that nothing's actually going to happen.
Just in general, though, I think that's a really good way to plan, or at least, like, address some of your concerns, is planning around the absolute worst case scenario and working backwards.
Yeah, you know that saying, hope for the best but prepare for the worst? There you go.
Precisely.
Like, it's not just a saying. Like, if you actually do it. Yeah, I'm pretty charismatically dead tonight.
I do like the Thursday nights, though. I think we need to keep doing this.
I do like the Thursday nights. I do like the kind of later in the week vibe.
Yeah.
Because I think really what it'll also do is it gives you more stuff to kind of talk about if you've had shit going on during the week.
Yeah. Monday
is usually like, I was in meetings all day. But
Monday is always a very meeting-heavy day.
Yeah. I probably should have copied you in the email, but I never heard back from that M&A guy.
Oh, I meant to ask you about that.
Yeah, there's no update. So, like, I sent him an email. I texted him yesterday. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
Something tells me he probably had a personal emergency, considering how he just suddenly disappeared.
Yeah.
And was pretty flaky. He was pretty responsive up until that point. So either he ghosted us because of price, or he's got a family emergency. Yeah. Either one, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's to be expected. Oh God, this freaking camera, dude.
When you do that, or when that happens, it almost looks like an action shot. like something's about to happen. Like it's turned. We can just kind of see the monitor, and then we're gonna see like your head pushed up against it because somebody came in.
Oh, hey, Joey's back. Did you win? Did you win the Warzone? Dude, I think Joey was here for all the bullshit we were talking about before we actually started talking about business. and then left. And now we're done. Or we've segued out of it, and we can segue back in. Second place.
I mean,
yeah, that's how it goes, man.
I've popped up to 2 viewers a couple times, and then popped back down to 1. So I'm assuming they heard what we were talking about. I'm like, wow, that's fucking boring.
I was at 3 at one point, but now I'm back to. I was at 1. Now I'm at 2 again. Thanks to.
I think they finally figured out my IP addresses, and that's why having it up on my computer or my phone is not doing anything.
I was actually wondering that in the back of my head because I've got it up in like an incognito tab in Chrome.
Ooh, here's the magic question. How do you invoice? I love that question. It's my favorite question.
That's a great question. How do you
Like,
want me to
honestly-
pay you?
I'm like honestly not even about to build this guy for it because it took less than 10 minutes to look through this Excel spreadsheet and was like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but I don't know. I should probably bill him just for make him feel good because then he feels like he's paying for value.
Yeah. What I miss. Just the steps of starting a business, my friend. I think we had some pretty good talks, though, just now.
We'll have more once I stop being a fat ass and chew this burrito.
Did you go from eating a cinnamon roll to eating burrito?
I had 2 of them. I ate 1, then I had some cinnamon roll. Now I'm finishing the other burrito. It's my dinner, basically.
You're going backwards. You ate your
I don't
dessert
remember
first.
You're not my supervisor.
Hey, man.
You don't sign my paycheck.
I'm
You
just-
can't tell me how I can and cannot eat my dinner.
I'm
at
simply
9:30 at night?
commenting.
Feeling a little attacked right here.
Dude, I think after we're done though, I will and this is also for Joey's benefit, but I'll probably upload this, export it out to YouTube and just put it out there. So try to promote it a little bit. See if we can get some views on it before next week and maybe get a couple more people out.
Yeah, get like 3 views, which will just be yourself as you're refreshing to make sure everything's working.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. So you want to start a business? Oh, fucking these days, fucking don't or do. There's a lot of people going out of business. There's a lot of
Now might be
lot
the
of new
time.
opportunities out there.
If you've got cash.
Cash is king, especially when everyone else is out of it. What you got in there? More whiskey?
That's just water.
Oh,
I ran
So
out
you
of
want-
whiskey.
be a lot of whiskey.
I need a cup of it.
I don't want to live through this shit anymore.
How do you think I sleep at night?
God damn, dude, what were you in the war? The Great War? Need a bottle of whiskey just to pass out at night.
I did contemplate going to get some more, but I think I'll just stick with the water.
Oh man, I am fucking beat. It was just one of those days of constant phone calls, emails, trying to keep shit moving.
Yeah.
They don't actually get anything done.
Mhm.
So I'll have shit that I gotta do this weekend. This whole working weekends things is starting to blur together.
And that's kind of the thing, though, you know, when it's not like clear-cut weekends to just chill and you don't have anything to do, it starts to blur together a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
But Saturday's just another work day.
And Sunday's just another work day. I do like taking
Mhm.
Mondays off though. That's about the only one I've got. Is like,
That
you know
sounds
what?
pretty
Fuck
nice.
Monday.
And it's like Tuesday being the Monday of the week at that point. It's still not as bad as a fucking
No.
Monday.
I think I got a lot of emotional baggage in that one.
Mondays are
My
just
dad,
not
my
fun.
dad was giving me shit because I'm usually up at like 9 because I don't talk to people in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the rest of the working world is up early, and it was like, I don't give a shit about the rest of the working world. Everything I do starts at about 10 o'clock and goes on from there. It's like,
It's like, this is my shit. I don't care when they get up.
It's like, I'm still putting in my 10 to 12 hours a day. So
Mhm.
what do you want from me?
That is kind of the
dude.
great thing about our work, though, is it doesn't really matter the time.
Hell, a lot of times it's easier to do it not during working hours, because you usually just
Yeah.
end up doing sales and stuff during working hours, or communicating with clients, or you know, helping them with stuff. And then it's like, once they finally go home and stop emailing, you can get the actual work done.
Yeah.
Which I think is the other part that, you know, it's almost a necessity when you haven't hired people yet. Why you end up working so much is like, because during your normal working hours, that's when you've got to make the connections with the people that are gonna, you know, pay you. You're going out trying
Right.
to find the customers, find the vendors, find all that.
Basically taking on 3 different job responsibilities. At
Yeah,
least.
you know, and then you're doing sales from 9 to 5, and then outside of that time is when you're actually getting the work done. So
Yeah.
that come the next day, you can deliver, get paid, and start the sales cycle over again. And you have to do that until you've got enough money coming in where you can start either paying for salespeople or paying for people to do the work during the day,
Mhm.
or paying for both. So, you know, it's baby steps.
Gotta love baby steps.
Life is just a series of baby steps. Because we're all just giant babies.
Which pretty much relates to what we were talking about before, of just going out and doing shit, figuring
Just
out
fucking
as
do
you
it.
go along.
Yeah. Just because other people figured out some way to do it doesn't mean it was the best way. Usually, if other people are doing it, means it's not the most efficient way.
Yep.
Unless it's Toyota. Toyota is really efficient, but if you're not Toyota and you don't understand why they do the things they do, then it's probably less efficient.
You can't out Toyota.
No. No, but I mean, it's so much as like, well, other people are doing this, and it's like, yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
they've figured it out. Everybody else is doing it, which means it's probably fucking wrong, to be honest. You know, it's if that's what everybody's doing and that seems to be the norm, that means that there is massive potential that's not being considered. If you're only considering, I know this sounds like a think outside the box. Just believe that you can have a different answer. You know, that motivational bullshit that you see.
Oh yeah.
But it's a genuine thing of, you know, just going, all right, what is your personal approach to it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for whatever your thing is, like, how do you want to do it? Because ultimately, if it's going to be your business, your character traits, your thoughts, your values are going to end up being kind of embedded into the whole thing, because it's going to end up becoming an extension of you one way or another. You know, even if you're doing it in such a way to then sell it off in a few years, you're still going to have, you know, those little nuances in there that are due to how you view things, how you do things, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes those little idiosyncrasies can be, you know, good and beneficial, and it's something that wasn't considered. Sometimes they can be bad, but you know, it adds just a little bit of a differentiation, so you're not like everybody else out there.
Yep.
You know, like our severe hatred for bookkeeping firms. It's our little tiny personal touch in there. Our former employer was not as willing to badmouth unlicensed accountants as I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Just trying to be diplomatic.
He tries to get really diplomatic. I don't care.
Especially when none of them are listening anyways.
Yeah, I mean, even if they are, I don't care.
Also, the firm does have some unlicensed people working for them, so
They're still yahoos.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he can't really badmouth it because he got that going on, you know?
Uh-huh. We dealt with that shit firsthand. God, that fucking project we worked on. Ugh. The one that claimed the life of a certain senior tax accountant.
Just took out people one by one.
God. It really was a quality determination time, and unfortunately, a lot of people were found lacking.
Unfortunately.
I will say that one comment we overheard. You remember we heard them saying, "Don't be afraid of big numbers."
Yeah.
I have been finding that after a certain point, that really does become true.
Mm-hmm.
That it, like, just because the numbers get bigger really doesn't mean there's an extra layer of complexity.
Right.
Usually it just means like there's more, but it's just more of the same.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that
makes sense.
Up to, like, even in companies up to probably about 10 million, they're still relatively simple. Like, it's weird how small the team can be that can pull in that much money.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not, you know, ooh, they've made $1 million. It's like, really, in the grand scheme of things, like, that's not a lot.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of crazy how that works, you know. It's like, personally, that is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of companies, like, that is small potatoes.
You're basically, you've moved out of like you were in the kiddie zone, and now you've gotten into like the shallow end.
It's like, that's when you're truly a small business. Like, you've moved out of being a micro business almost.
Yeah, they need to have a word for something smaller than small. Like, you know, it's like under that 1 million mark. I mean, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I know $300,000 in revenue is a lot of money for people to kind of conceptualize, but when you take out all the expenses incurred to do that, you're not really left with a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, those numbers get misleadingly big real fast. You
Yep.
know, it's like people will hear, oh, they did, you know, 10 million in revenue, and think, well, they must be making bank. And then you find out, nope, they actually lost money. Oh, at a certain organization, they are on CFO number 3 now.
What? Dang. It's funny, I know
No,
exactly what you're talking about, too. Damn.
Yeah, I believe the phrase was, Scott went, I liked him. You'll notice I used past tense.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That didn't take a year.
I don't know. I maybe we should be like, hey, you need some contract CFO services?
Fuck that.
Oh man, I would not go back into that unless they were paying like $5,000 a week.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, dude.
Would you be willing to go back and deal with that for like $200,000 a year?
Nope.
I'd be willing to put up with it for a year and then resign. I'd absolutely be willing to go back for $5,000 a week.
Ooh, dude, that's rough.
Just think of how much $250,000 is, though.
Yeah.
Like, you just put up with it for a year, and then go, this working relationship isn't working out. That's it. It's over. It's done.
I don't know, man.
Nah, I wouldn't
That just
wanna
makes
deal
me
with that
cringe.
shit. Wouldn't want to deal with that shit show again.
There's some things in this world that money is just not worth the trouble.
So they find out that, yeah, you know what? There's some things money can't buy, like my willingness to go do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you do it for $1 million?
I'd definitely do it for $1 million.
There we go. So we've established
Everyone
that
has
your
a price.
We've established your price is somewhere between 250,000 and $1 million.
But like you said, probably only for like a year, and then I'd be out of there. That would not be my long-term plan.
No. Oh man, you know, I like this chat a whole lot more when people would pop in,
Yeah.
and this is really, really, this is the part of Twitch that I hate. I can't
Dude,
even
it
get
is
my
kind of
shit-
funny. Like, after I went on that vacation in August, like everything just fucking died
Dude, I tell you,
after I didn't stream those 2 days.
momentum is like key. The
It's
same
crazy.
thing happened to me. I mean, I had regular turnout of like 8 to 10 there for a little bit. Like I could get on and stream and people were there, and then I got burned out, took a week off, and then I literally still haven't recovered.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's 1 week and it just decimated everything.
I'm telling you, man, Twitch viewership is like a bunch of coked up rats. Like if you're not constantly giving them that dopamine hit,
Yeah,
they're gone looking for their next deal.
on to the next one.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just people they just won't stick around.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. We'll get some more people in here. It is fun though, man. I like it regardless.
Yeah, I mean, really, so long as we can keep everything going like on our own, then that's all that really matters. Eventually,
Yeah.
someone will pop in and be like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting."
Yep.
But I mean, it's not like we have a deadline on this where we need to hit a certain viewership by a certain point. So who gives a fuck?
No. And that's what I keep telling myself, dude. It's like it's not about the viewers. I guess like in the end it kind of is, but I mean
not
it's still
about the
it's
viewers.
still
no one
fun,
gives a
dude.
shit about the viewers.
It's still fun.
It is. It is fun to kind of do this, pretend that we're professionals having a professional podcast talking
Yeah.
about professional things. Because we can tell
Practicing
people
for
that
when we do.
Because we can tell people we have a CPA podcast where we discuss things, and it'll impress them. Little do they know that the only people that watch is us.
Us. Occasional family and friends that pop in with a little pity watch.
Pop in and go, man, this is boring.
And these guys
They're
call
trying.
themselves the fun accountants?
No. It was fund accountants. There's a D there. Plus, I think the problem is these days every Tom, Dick, and Sally is trying to start a podcast because everyone's stuck at home.
Yeah.
So I think there's more competition than normal.
God, I forget what the stat was. I read about that though the other day, probably like a month or two ago, and the number of podcasts that were started since March is astronomical, like
It's probably
crazy.
up like 10,000%.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, really, doing the investment into the equipment for a podcast really isn't a bad deal. I mean,
No.
so much of stuff getting remote. I mean, I've gotten compliments from clients on how clear my audio quality is.
Yeah.
And I
And
bought this
just the
microphone
look
like
of it.
a year ago before I thought that we were going to be doing all these goddamn Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
So,
It all pays off, man. Dude, I might call it here soon enough. We've been going an hour 15.
I figure we could probably shoot the shit a little bit.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
kind of
I mean, I'm
peter out something from. You're at 2. Uh-oh.
Am I?
That's what it says to me. Maybe you just refreshed and that's what it is.
Yeah,
Could be
it's
that.
telling me 1.
I do love how inconsistent the Twitch viewer thing is.
It's so bad.
It's terrible.
I don't understand why it can't update in real time as someone goes in and out. Like, someone will come
I think
in, it'll still
think
be at
the-
1.
I think the problem is probably people that aren't signed in. I wonder if that's the only one that it struggles with, or they just don't give a shit and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, for the vast majority, for the Twitch streamers who aren't worried about every single view being counted,
Yeah. For people who have a couple thousand people watching their stream,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
missing a couple of material.
But for people who are arguing between, I got 3 viewers in here tonight, it matters. It's everything.
My favorite thing is so I get 2 different stream summaries at the end of each one through I think Streamlabs and the other one just from Twitch.
Yeah.
they're never identical.
I noticed that too.
I don't know. I don't know how they're tracking, but apparently they're just pulling information from different sources, and I have no idea why they never match.
Yeah. It makes no
You're-
sense.
It's like you had 5 unique chatterers. It's like, what the fuck is a chatterer? Nobody talked. Like, Stream Elements talked at the very beginning to say, here's the title, and then that was it. And it's like, you had 6 people talking. You're full of shit. You're just full of it.
Oh, hey, we did get a new viewer. Jay
I like this guy.
Sarzosa.
I like this guy for calling out that he's actually there and he's new. Most
Yeah.
new people pop in, get terrified if you make any mention that, hey, you're new here, and it's like shining
I
a
know.
spotlight on them, and then they're like, nah.
I highly appreciate that. What's up? How's it going, Jay Sarzosa?
Congratulations, you just became our favorite person tonight.
Yeah. Congratulations, my friend.
Or this is one of the ones where they do the like, hi, I'm new, and then that's it.
Either way, it's appreciated.
It is.
Maybe
That's it.
maybe you have some questions about starting a business. If so, feel free to drop them, or we'll just
More questions about how money works. We usually can butcher an explanation through that.
hey, for that too.
Yeah.
I keep timing out though.
That might just be your internet. Unfortunately, I haven't had any issues.
It has not told me that I've like dropped any frames or anything.
Probably got rural North Carolina internet.
Yeah, that's the pits, man.
Oh man.
I just remember driving out through all like these rural places of North Carolina and like seeing the one telecom provider building that's gigantic. Just different ones in each place, and I'm like, well, they're making a killing off nothing.
Yeah, you know, charging $200 a month for 20 up. You know, and that's it. With a data cap, you can only
Yeah.
download like 100 gigabytes of data a month. It's
If you're lucky.
insane how it's insane how shitty the internet infrastructure is once you get away from some of the major cities. It truly is astounding
Yeah.
how mismanaged that whole thing was, and that a lot of the telecoms weren't held accountable for charging fees to build fiber for everything, and then just not.
Yeah.
Like, it's not criminal. It bloody well should be.
I know,
Although
right?
I do miss our drives through the ruralest parts of North Carolina, and realizing that it is indeed possible for time to just forget a geographical location.
It is kind of crazy, man. And it's like they're all working so hard to bring out new businesses and everything, and it works out occasionally, but it's still
It's like, just give it up. Let Bezos buy your county out, and everybody will be happy.
just put an Amazon warehouse out there.
Yeah, just give up. Just get folded into Amazon. It'll be the Amazon Municipality 1, Amazon Municipality 2, and just let it go. Everybody's
yeah, I
leaving.
live in the
you give it
Amazon.
long enough.
No, not Brazil, North Carolina.
You know, it's like just give up. I'm not a defeatist, but there's a lot of those rural places that are defeated. They have been defeated for the last 50 years.
Dude, that is kind of like a crazy thing to think about, though. Like, how, I guess, I don't know, just our topic of starting a business could apply out in places like that. Especially during these times when it's hard enough to start a business as it is. And when you're in a place that has no people
Money.
or money, yeah. What do?
You try to do what you can to leave. I mean, that's honest to God with a lot of those is once you get into that desolation, I mean, it's all you can do is leave, which just compounds the problem because
Mhm.
you know, no one's gonna stick around to try and build anything because there's nothing, like, you can't build. You know, it'd be like trying to build a log home in the desert. You
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
You know, there's no money, there's no tax base, there's no support system. There's no infrastructure that's needed. All you can do if you want to actually create something of, of value is basically leave and then figure out once you've made it what you can do to come back and, I don't want to say exploit, but basically exploit what they've got out there to do something.
Right.
It's I don't know, in terms of what they could do to fix it, I don't know. It's just broken. I mean, it's just old people waiting to die, and then young people who are trying to just get out.
Trying to get out.
Die there.
Yeah.
And I guess, you really, there could be a discussion on, is that necessarily a bad thing to have locations that eventually just peter out?
Yeah.
Is it bad? Is it a fundamentally bad thing to have a town that just after a certain point, people leave and the people that want to stay eventually just kind of die out and that's it? Is that a bad thing, or is that just a natural course of life?
Yeah. And just like keeping with the overall, I guess, trend, like the global trend of urbanization, people moving out of these rural areas to more urbanized places. Because it's not just North Carolina that's happening, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is when you then consider how COVID has made everything so remote. I mean, we could very well see almost a reverse in urbanization, and suddenly everybody goes, so long as I've got the proper internet structure, I don't need to live in the city to be close to everything. I can live farther out. So
and still be connected.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, the pressure that it puts on various locations to to get that infrastructure in place to have those people. I mean, there are those rural towns, if they could get some kick-ass internet, I'm sure they'd love to market themselves as low cost of living, speed internet, and you can keep your New York salary and pay rural North Carolina cost of living.
Yeah, because I mean that's the biggest benefit out there is the cost of living. It's like you can buy a house with 10 acres of land for $300K. And that won't even get you to first base in a freaking city,
Yeah, when you got to make $150,000 in New York to be above the poverty line.
Yeah,
I mean, that's insane. I mean, it is insane. It's who knows? Hopefully, it'll cause some changes and cause some good. We'll see what it does to the cities, but only time will tell. It's so new.
Well, that's the thing, man. You can't predict anything nowadays. I think that's basically our theme for tonight. You can't.
Tonight's theme: you can't predict shit. What is it? Was that tasty trade thing that we had learned? Nobody knows anything.
I still tell myself that on like a daily basis. Yeah. So many people talk like they do, but nobody knows anything.
No, it's you just we'll do a financial forecast. Sure, I'm gonna do a financial forecast that looks like the outline of Yogi Berra. Hey boo boo, here's a forecast for you. That is a David reference.
But one I appreciate.
That is old. You got any children watching this? They're gonna be like, "What's a Yogi Berra?
What is he talking about?
That voice? Is that racist?"
These guys are assholes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least I am. I don't know. Yeah, everybody seems to call you a pretty cool guy, so.
Yeah.
They usually go into your chat to insult me, so. Who knows? These are wild times we live in.
It really is, man. It really is.
Yeah, it figures.
Twitch is serving you up with horrible audio and tons of drop frames for video. If you want to follow me before you go, that'd be cool. You know when we come back.
You've got Twitch muted, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking. So you mentioned echo.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what. sucks, man.
It is what it is.
Oh
See,
well.
if we can spiritually keep ourselves going through trying to start a Twitch podcast, then I mean, really, sales is going to be easy in comparison. Also,
True
did you see
that.
that pricing sheet I sent you?
Yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you about that, man. Yeah, it looked good. It's actually freaking awesome.
I wanted something that we could attach when we do bids or send to clients or eventually have up on the website
Yeah.
to just say, here's everything we've got, here's a quick description from there. I spent a few hours today working on that, doing the formatting, making it look nice. The next one is to come up with a cover letter. So I'm not sure yet what that'll look like or what we'll do. But you know, I'm hoping to have by the end of tomorrow have an actual a updated cover letter to go with the pricing sheet. So that we can do more bids, because I've kind of held off on doing some bids on some jobs just because I wanted to get everything ready before sending it out again. Because what I'm really hoping is that I can use this to start nailing some of that bookkeeping work. Because then if I can get a bunch of that coming in, I can start pawning some of that off on you to handle it, and then we can, you know, just keep more and more coming in, and it gives us, I mean, the more money we got coming in, the more we got to, you know, to play around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for going through that and doing it. I mean, it looks good. That's the good thing about it, though, is like it's nice to have. I mean, it's a professional-looking document, you know.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go with. I mean, we don't have the fancy cover head or cover letter or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a price sheet. So here's what do you want? What more do you want? Here it lays out everything. Here's what we offer. I came up with some fancy names for the payroll stuff, and we can just kind of go from there.
Yep.
You know, eventually it'd be nice to kind of have those. I don't know, even if we had a Twitch channel for the agency going, would probably just want to have that somewhere in the description or the down below.
Yeah. Always a good idea.
But you know, I mean, other than that, it's I just want to get that cover letter taken care of. That marketing guy over the next week, you know, he'll get an Upwork profile set up. If he can get some, I hate the phrase turnkey, but if he can get some turnkey marketing stuff that we can start offering, then, you know, it's like, great. We can package that in with, not only can we do bookkeeping and all the other stuff, we can also provide marketing services. My longer term goal would be, see, this is where we get to the interesting part of the podcast, is allowing any of our competition to chime in and listen to what our plans are. Which they're not going to do because they're not on Twitch, because they're old boomers.
Hey, they can listen if they want to. They still have to outdo us.
I like that attitude.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Give it your best shot. May the better two men win.
Exactly.
Because I'd like if we could package both, here's bookkeeping and marketing, then, you know, there's that'll just help. I mean, a lot of these small companies, you know, they know dick all about marketing.
Right.
So, you know, we can test this guy out, see what he knows, see how well he does. You know, if it pans out, great. If it doesn't, oh well. You know, no risk, no reward.
Yep.
We'll just go from there. But that's kind of the, you know, we talked about our plan a day out and maybe at most a week out. The week out plan is to finish that cover letter. I'm gonna keep on this dude to make sure he gets me information on what he can offer. Because when I was listening to it, and you know, with what he'd said, and he's kind of he's not unemployed, but he's working at Whole Foods right now to make ends meet, because he's been, you know, kind of struggling with some of the job stuff out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, I can put you to work. I can think of what we can do together, and I'm assuming that, you know, you're not an idiot. So, you know, I'm hoping you prove me right. I mean, worst case scenario, you know, it's not like we're gonna lose money on this. And we'll just take it from there and see what happens.
Yep.
But you know, so that's kind of the next week or so is to get that taken care of, get that cover letter done. We've got our pricing, and then we can go out and do sales all day, every
Yeah.
day, and do bids
Dude, I
until I
think-
want to kill myself. More.
That's a good plan. Just get. But I mean, yeah, I mean that sounds good to me, dude. Like, just getting our stuff in place, and then we can kill it on the proposals we put out there, and just do a
Yeah, 'cause I mean,
freaking million of them.
all we're doing is going back to those 3 fundamental steps for new early businesses: get the work, get paid, do the work.
Get that business.
It really is amazing how hard step 1 is.
Yeah.
And I know it's different when you've got services versus product, because it's weird. You know, it's like the approach just isn't the same. When you've got goods you're trying to move, you just kind of say, hey, do you want this thing? Whereas,
Mhm.
you know, we do have a little more autonomy to basically say, here's the value we can give you, here's how we're gonna make you better, and, you know, make you more money and all that good shit.
Mhm.
I really am grateful we're more service based than we are trying to move product.
Oh God,
'Cause
yeah.
It's just not. I know we discussed doing like an online store or something, but I really would not be super keen to try and get that going in this
Yeah.
this economy.
I was thinking about that the other day, man. Was because I was looking at that back in like January or February, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I just didn't like go through with the whole plan, because I don't think that stuff is selling like normal nowadays, unless you have the right products.
No one's got any disposable income. I mean, from what
Yeah.
I've heard, really the only ones that have any disposable income are the bloody accountants, because
Mhm.
suddenly everybody's panicking over money, which means, you know, we're making out like fucking bandits. Not really, for the record, but you know, it
When we start
Nothing like-
charging right, we will be when we use this pricing
Seriously.
sheet.
Yeah, I'm really planning on sticking to it. I mean, I've got some current clients that have gotten lucky in their pricing based on the amount of work, but
That's just
whatever,
how
I
it
needed the
goes.
money. Yeah, you know, you it's the old, you just do some shit, figure out if it works or not, look back at what happened. Are you satisfied with where stuff is? Are you not satisfied? And then you make changes going forward.
Yep.
So, you know, and all you can do is just constantly, I hate to say reassess because it sounds so clinical, but you know, all you can do is just constantly go, is this shit working? Do we need to make changes? Is stuff at where we want it to be?
Yep.
Usually the answer is no. Actually, the answer is always no. There's always room for improvement. So it's just a constant trial and error, which I think really is the key to any new small business. Or you're trying to start a business, is it's going to be trial and error. You know, it's not the, oh, you're destined to fail and all that.
Yeah.
You know, obviously do what you can to learn from other businesses about what they fucked up that didn't work. You know, what they tried to do and didn't pan out, the mistakes they made. Keep those in mind as you go forward, so that, you know, you don't have to do those failures on your own. Because, you know, I really
Mhm.
bet that if you were to look at the majority of businesses that fail, the small ones that fail, especially the early ones, I bet you could probably categorize the reasons for failure into just a handful of general categories,
Mhm.
and they would all fall under those categories. You know, it's
Yeah.
common mistakes of, you know, not. I bet probably the biggest one is not paying attention to your financials.
That's what I was about to say, man. Like, that's got to be up there, or not even understanding it.
Yeah, not knowing, like, are you even making any money or not? You know, I am shocked when I've talked to small businesses that have been operating where it's like, I mean, how much money are you making?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, we're really not sure. It's like, the part that just blows my mind is how you go and start a business, which I'm assuming, I mean, because we're just saying business, not nonprofit. Nonprofits are completely bloody different. But how are you going to go and create what's supposed to be a money generating enterprise and not pay attention to how much money you're generating?
Yep.
And it's like, I'm going to plant an apple tree, and then you come back and go, well, how many apples did you get? It's like, but like that,
Yeah.
you did that for the apple tree, and you're just like, oh, okay, well,
It's
that'll
so
be
true.
$500. That'll be $500 to explain why you should be paying attention to your apple tree.
Mm-hmm.
But it truly is amazing. I really do think it's just common issues in each one. is not paying attention to the financials, being too focused, I think, on the planning stage. I really
Yeah.
wonder how many of them they start and then they spend all that time like, oh, we need the perfect business plan. We need a great business plan. We need this. It's like, you don't need a perfect bloody business plan. What you need is actual events that you've gone, actual actions you've gone out and done to try and sell your shit and make
Yep.
money. You know, like all those startups that apparently I want their investors who just toss hundreds of thousands of dollars at them to piss away on nothing, and then they don't get sued afterwards.
I don't know how that works.
I'm still trying to fucking fail. Apparently, I think what it is when you go into it knowing that you're going to fail on purpose, that's fraud.
Mhm.
But if you fail because you're an idiot, that's just a bad business decision. If you know ahead of time how stupid you are, now you've committed fraud. But if you find out in the moment that, man, we did not plan this out right, the
Mhm.
investors go, all right, I mean, that's the risk we take.
Yeah.
So don't let the investors know you know what you're doing. Just do a shucks darn, I didn't know we couldn't do that.
Mhm.
Don't do that. This whole segment, this is irony. This will be clipped and put all over the goddamn internet.
It's like-
These CPAs said the secret to defrauding investors. Oh, no, we didn't.
Nope. Disclaimer right here.
What you'll notice, Your Honor, is the clip afterwards where I explicitly said, and I quote, no, don't do that.
I think that's really where it all comes up, though, man. Is like companies spending so much time like planning it out and like crafting the perfect business plan that once you start, if you start operating at all, you realize you get to that point and it's a lot harder and different than you thought, and people just quit.
I think my favorite is when I see some of the projections that people make and their first month sales number.
Mm-hmm.
I truly love that one because, I mean, the other ones is fine, whatever, it's farther in the future, but usually that first month of sales
Mm-hmm.
is usually about 10 times higher than it's really going to be.
I bet that is totally true.
We're gonna do 50 orders. You did 5.
Yeah.
You were hoping you were gonna make $1,000 in your first month. You made 50.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
And that's
there
how
you
it
go.
goes,
Now,
though. The first month, like the first year, almost, maybe not quite that long, but like it's got to be desolate compared to like what anyone projects it to be.
No, nobody wants to go out and basically tell themselves honestly, things are gonna be quiet for the first year.
Right.
This is gonna be great. We're gonna do 50 orders in our first month, and then 200 in our second, and then 300 in our third, and it's gonna go up because, much like stocks, our revenue only goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just no. I think the whole point from this is just do it. Like, figure out.
Yep.
Have a plan for how you're going to do it, and then just start doing things. I mean, because I think what also gets a lot of people, and this is probably more for the people who always have that idea of, I want to be an entrepreneur and just don't know how, is, you just start kind of doing it without really knowing what's going on. So, okay, somebody wants one of your widgets or one of your food items or one of your whatever. Okay, you have an order. You've got one. What do you need to do to fill that order?
Yeah.
Do you need materials? Do you need people to do it for you? Do you need to buy the ingredients for you to put yourself? It's what then, because then it gets a whole lot more concrete. And what do I need to do now to fill this order? And then suddenly you go, oh, okay, so that's what I do for one. And then, oh God, I have another one. I get to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you go, okay, now I have an idea of what's going on. I can kind of strategize a little more on what's more efficient.
Like what went wrong that first time and how can we make it better the second time?
Yeah. I mean, have you noticed that when you do things for the first time, when you've got like that complete just lack of understanding of what you're doing, usually after the first time you do it, usually it's about, say, what, 50 to 70% kind of capacity,
Mm-hmm.
you think, usually when it's happening?
Yeah, totally.
Because you hit that like 50% mark after the first one, and then you go, okay, I know a little bit more what's involved. It's a little less scary. I'll do it again, and then you're at like 70, and then
Yep.
you do it again, and you get a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then eventually you've been doing it enough, and you're at that 99% efficiency because you've done 3,000 orders.
Mm-hmm.
But the important part really is to just do that first one, like just the bare bones minimum. What do I need to do to fill this first order
Yeah.
or provide this first service?
Just taking it step by step, like starting with what am I doing, and then what is the first part of making whatever product you're selling. Like, what do I need to do? What materials do I need to buy? And then who's putting it together? Then where are we selling it? And it's just figuring those things out in order, just one at a time. Don't worry about anything else until you figure out that first part.
Yeah. I mean, you can't strategize or have a plan until you have like I don't want to say like an operational plan, but like you need to know how to execute on the whole thing. And you're not going to know that until you've taken that minimum product and have sold it to somebody.
Yep.
So that really gets into the get the work, get paid if need be. Usually it's, depending on what's going on, you may not be able to get paid ahead of time, but you do, that needs to be the thing that happens. And then it's figure out how to do the work. Not do the work, but figure it out. Figure out what needs to be done in order to get it done. I mean, some of these, the first couple cleanup jobs that I did, I had no fucking clue what to do. It was like, I need to get my QuickBooks cleaned up or whatever. And I was like, I can absolutely take care of that for you. And we went through, agreed on an amount, and then I went in and went, holy shit, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then you just you have to just be able to, now if you can't reason your way through everything, you've got a bigger fundamental problem of, you do need the ability to logic your way through what needs to happen. If you can't do that, you need to take a step back and really think, do I have the skills necessary to do this? If you can't figure out from step by step, you're either, you may be, God, this sounds belittling, but it's like you may be lacking the common sense needed to do it, or the logic needed to go from point A to point B, or you don't have the experience that will guide you through that.
Yeah.
But once you have that, you can basically, you get that first one done, and then there you go. It's like my first cleanup was pretty inefficient, didn't really know what I was looking for, what the problems were, had to kind of research a whole bunch of stuff, and now it's, you get through a couple dozen of them, and now you're like, all right, I know where to go to look for this. I know what they've probably screwed up just from the way they're asking me questions. I already know what they've done. I already, it's like, boom, you're done. It takes a tenth at the time because you've already seen the shit. So it's just getting that first one done to learn. And usually the cool part is in a way you're getting paid to learn.
Pretty much.
Like the opposite of school. Rather than paying to learn, you're getting paid to learn.
A much better deal. And it's kind of like with the pricing sheet, man, that we've been working through. Like, luckily, I'm riding on some of your experience there. Because, I mean, I would have made the same mistakes, and that's just how it goes. Like, you have to figure it out by working through it and knowing, like, oh, shit, I definitely undercharged this person a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
and plus, it gives you a read, like, for what we're working on, and that's because I know through a lot of this is, like, I'm... What I really value you for is that because you're not involved in a whole lot of these day-to-day operations, is that you are that kind of independent second opinion of, does this just kind of rationally make sense?
Yeah.
And that is something that, when you're involved in these operations, and especially when you're small and it's just you, like, it's really hard to take a step back and see everything happening. Like we had to deal with those jobs where we were both performing the work and managing. You really struggle to keep everything in its correct place. I mean, that's why managers exist. You need to have somebody who can kind of take a step back, see the big picture, see how things fit together, and help guide the executioners in what they're doing. Man, I'm gonna start using that to describe the people.
Yeah, executioners.
A team of executioners over here that get shit done.
Start calling myself that.
gonna go ahead and patent that one.
So I'll put my job title for the agency: lead executioner.
Dude, I love it. I mean, because that's what we got going on. You gotta execute. You gotta execute that shit. You gotta circle the wagons.
Circle the wagons.
And execute the natives. Or sorry, not the natives. That's not the pioneers. Is what I meant to say.
Poor natives.
They get a tough break. They don't even have a sports team named after them anymore. Granted, named incredibly poorly.
I'm anxious to see what they'll come up with for their next name.
We'll just wait and change it right back to Redskins.
Yeah.
The Washington Rojo Skins. Like, is that more racist or less racist? Is it more racist to use the Spanish word for red when you're referring to Native Americans? Kind of think it does. Seems a little racist to me, but
it's like a dual front racist thing instead of just on one person, you know?
It's like they're just trying to offend as many people as possible. Of course, from what I know of those teams, I'm sure those old white guys are racist assholes.
Oh yeah.
God, I knew a guy in college who was involved in the women's soccer team, and also involved with like the sports teams and all that. Dude, some of the comments that he made about watching the owners of the teams and the big donors, and then looking at the players that were playing,
yeah,
I can't repeat here because we'd probably get banned, and a left-wing militia would be put out on us. I mean, it was... I heard it and went, holy shit, dude, you can't say that. I mean, it was... And he was not white, but some of those comments made me, man, I'm gonna get my ass beat just for being around you.
I know exactly what you mean, too. It's like, dude, you can't say that. Don't say that shit.
It's like, look, I get you're like, I get that you're the same as them, but like, we can't, please stop.
Yeah.
Just please.
Yeah.
Before they turn around and beat my white ass. Oh man, fuck. But no, Hinge, come back.
You multitasking here?
A little bit.
Thought I saw you pop up to like 3 viewers at one point, but now we're
I
both
did.
back
There
down
was
to
a-
1.
There was a Scottish Ellie who showed up, listened for a little bit, went, wow, this is fucking boring, and left.
Like, peace out. Dude, I've been watching
Really?
like my actual stream and yours, and I don't see what this dude was talking about with dropped frames. There's no way that's accurate. It's definitely his internet.
Yeah, I mean, the problem we run into is because we're not partners. I mean, we're both streaming at in HD quality.
Yeah.
So like, if you just don't have, I ran into it on my phone, but my phone sucks. But you know, if because it won't cut down on ours. Partners, they have the ability that like they'll stream in 1080, and then you can choose whether you want 1080, 720, 480. Yeah,
But you can't do that for ours.
Let me see. I don't know. Apparently, there's the extra bandwidth. You can turn you down. That is neat.
Interesting.
Fascinating. Not mine though. Only yours. I can turn yours down in quality, but mine's not. I'm stuck in HD. What a rough life. You will either see everything or nothing.
Or nothing.
You peasant. So I just saw an email about something, but it Neuralink is what it was, but it made me think of I got an email a couple weeks ago where it was talking about some companies that had just gone public. One of them, have you heard of a company called Palantir?
It sounds familiar.
It also sounds familiar because that's the name of the all-seeing eye stones from Lord of the Rings that
That's
Sauron
probably where
used to
I've
keep
seen it.
tabs on Middle Earth.
That's where I've seen it.
Yeah. So, so this is one of those ones where like those tech guys get a little nerdy and then they name their shit after that, and then I go, I don't like how apt a description that is.
Yeah.
So they started a surveillance company that does a lot of governmental contracts and is like electronic surveillance, and the name of the company is Palantir.
That's a great name.
It's both great and I really hate how fitting that
and
is.
terrifying.
It's like you just get on your computer and just pops up an Eye of Sauron every time you get on. I see you. You're like, ah, fucking damn it, ad block. Oh man. Yeah, so apparently they've gone public, so you can invest in Palantir. What are their stocks doing at? Let's see. I think it's PLTR is what the ticker was. Yeah, Palantir Technologies.
That's great. What's their stock price?
I'm pulling that up right now. The world's most elusive software company finally opens its books.
Elusive.
Oh, neat. Oh, they're not listed yet. They file for direct listing. They lost 580 million last year on 700 million in revenue.
Damn.
But why though?
What the hell are they doing?
Hoping for a valuation of about 26 billion. Class A, blah blah blah. Well, again, it's one of those without seeing the financials, I really wonder what they've got going on. Because it 740 million in revenue, up 25%, with a 580 million net loss. Fucking serious? So they had a $4 billion accumulated deficit. They're sitting on $1.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents, which doesn't include 140 million in restricted cash.
Dang.
So they got a lot of fucking cash that they're sitting on.
Yeah, they do.
We just got 1.5 billion. Speaking of stock prices going up, since this just turned into like an unofficial stock discussion.
Yeah.
Do you see I think GameStop is finally back above my my original purchase point.
I saw that, man. It's like they crossed like the $7 mark, I think.
They crossed 8 a little while ago.
Oh my god.
Let's pull up Robinhood, see what's going on. God, I wish I had dropped like $1,000 on GameStop stock when it was at like $250. Like I really hate.
I'm kicking myself for a few of those recently. I wish I would have just held on to it and bought in when everything fucking crashed in March.
So that is one of those instances where I was sitting there as everything had crashed and was just like, I fucking hate that I am unemployed and I don't have money coming in.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there. It was like watching somebody take my wallet filled with money and just burn it in front of me. Like, it just killed me to see that and know that like this is another one of those once in a lifetime opportunities.
Yeah.
That I just didn't have the money in to participate, and it sucked. I'm still kicking myself regularly. I was actually talking to a guy who he had mentioned he had been looking at some Amazon calls.
Yeah.
Some longer dated, like end of September, when they were at, I mean, the calls themselves were cheap. And it was when Amazon had dropped to like 1,200 or something like that. It was like the 1,800 calls or whatever. Yeah. And he screwed up his order and it ended up not getting filled.
Oh.
And then it had shot past everything.
Yeah.
And he was like,
blew it out of the water.
He was like, I missed out on like $30,000.
Oh my god.
And I was like, well, because he first had said he had lost 30,000, but he just missed out on making 30,000. And I said, well, that is far easier to stomach than some of the horror stories we've seen.
Oh god, yeah. It's still like, dude, that's the one thing you can't think about is the missed opportunities. That'll torture you.
I don't know. Once we can get the firm really going, we can start playing in the stock market again.
Yep.
That'd be fun. Then we could do a once a week podcast and then a once a week watch us gamble in real time.
I'm always down for that.
Oh man, that one would be that'd be fun to I just
Real
want to hit
life
the point where I
casino.
can place your bets. I would love to have the capital be able to day trade.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sweet,
Otherwise
man. That'd be pretty sweet.
Otherwise, it you know, having that much money to be able to just sit on, and then not get flagged as a pattern day trader would be nice.
Get, what is it, 3 day trades every 5 days or something like that?
Yeah, and then if you do that, so it's if you do 4 in like a 7-day period, they lock your account for like 90 days.
God.
Like you can't do a single trade anymore. And really what it comes down to is it's an SEC regulation where they're basically like, we figure if you don't have $20,000 to use in trading, you're not sophisticated enough to day trade.
It's probably a wise assumption.
It's both one of those where I go, you know what? Like, I see where you're coming from, and yet at the same time, I've met a lot of stupid rich people.
That was my next point. It's like there's a lot of stupid people out there with 20 grand.
Yeah, you know, so it's like I don't know. I just put my money back into the Vanguard ETFs, and have just been kind of letting that sit. So I didn't look today, knowing that the market was down.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it'll just make me
rough.
I was just happy I'd held those bond ETFs long enough that I've got about $500 in long-term capital gains.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay for lower tax rate.
Yep.
But, man, it not paying attention to the news has got to be the most relaxing thing I've done in a long time.
Yeah. I actively try to like separate myself from it.
Like I have to keep enough tabs on like the SBA stuff and all that good stuff, because I never know when my clients are going to call up like, hey, we heard about this thing, and it's like, just god damn it. But
yeah,
you know, but so it's that kind of thing I have to kind of keep up to date on. I wonder if they're ever going to pass the next stimulus. I like how
that just like fell into the water, man.
Dude, don't you wish that you could just take a holiday in the middle of a pandemic recession? A pan session? I think we should start calling it a pan session.
Pan session.
Pandemic session.
A redemic.
No, panda session sounds like it's something caused by like an overload of pandas, which is
a bunch
what happened
of
to the U.S. economy?
Leaving.
Pandas. Panda Express collapsed. It just triggered everything.
The pandas just got tired of the bullshit and they left.
They got guns and started shooting people. It was horrifying. These pandas are ruthless. But don't you wish in the middle of a pandemic, when everyone's relying on you to do your job so that they don't starve, you could just take a holiday?
Just go home and chill.
But it is important enough to come back to vote on the USPS.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to keep the USPS going, but it's not important enough to make sure that money is still going to American citizens.
The people who are receiving the mail can keep going.
Right. You know, so that's, you know, that's not important. It's, you know, the post office needs its money, not the people who are out of work because everything was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually reading a Wall Street Journal article that they studied lockdowns versus no lockdowns, and they admitted that there were some limitations of what they had going on.
Yeah.
But the initial study was that as far as they could tell, those hard lockdowns that had occurred didn't really do anything to stem the flow of infection. They said that, you know, they expected to see, and I think it was a Wall Street Journal article. I should probably read it again so I'm remembering better what I'm talking about. But the gist of it was, you know, everybody, common sense says that you had the lockdown, it would cause a freeze in cases, and then the lockdown gets released, and then there'd be a big uptick again. And they said that they haven't seen that. There didn't really seem to be a correlation between the lockdown versus not locking down
Interesting.
and case spreads. They did
I'd
admit
like to read
there's a
that.
lot of yeah. I'll see if I can find it on the Wall Street Journal for you, but they did admit that there are a lot of limitations in what they were looking at. And I mean, you can't really do a perfect control test
Right.
for this. I mean, you just kind of look and try and draw some conclusions one way or
Like as
another.
best you
But I
can.
thought that was interesting because their conclusion was those hard lockdowns just don't, they just don't do it, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a case for don't governors and mayors don't do that again because unfortunately we just can't. I know that there's been a big rallying on the kind of the farther left of sacrificing people for the good of the economy.
Yeah.
The problem is that a true economic collapse is going to kill far more people than COVID.
It's the truth.
Like, if logistics lines were to fail, that'll kill far more people than COVID.
Right?
Which is a really morbid thing to say considering we're accountants and we don't really value human life anyway. But I just thought that was an interesting little thing that they had looked at.
It is really interesting because it was like Switzerland or something that didn't do any lockdowns, and I mean they are perfectly okay.
I mean,
And
they've
here
still
we
got
are,
COVID,
and
people are still dying. It just, I don't know.
Right.
I still can't believe that wearing a mask is like an issue with some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't
I'm in
wear
the
a
same
mask
boat.
because I've got respiratory problems. It's like, well, then you really fucking shouldn't be out because then if you get COVID, you'll die.
You're
like,
sure to die, you know.
Yeah. I can't breathe. It's like they just need to do the test. Can you wear a mask and still operate? Yes. All right, you're probably good. No, that's why I shouldn't be wearing a mask. No, that's why you should be staying home.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is slowly starting to come out that apparently so much of the deaths that caused from it were from the nursing homes, which, sorry, boomers.
That's what old people
Which is
do.
really
They
fucked up
die.
to say. But I don't know, man. I don't envy anyone that's had to make any calls in this. It's with the lockdowns.
That's for sure.
I don't envy their decisions. I wouldn't fault them for it. For those that didn't and said we're gonna deal with it, I honestly don't really fault them either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a hard decision to make that.
And that's the thing is
Yeah.
like you couldn't really base your decision either way off of any data because the last time this happened was 100 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, what really I think what it would show is, I mean, we've had other pandemics since then. I mean, we've had multiple flu pandemics that were just as serious, if not more serious, than COVID. The thing is that people hear, oh, it's just the flu, so
Mhm.
what do I care? And then when you actually look at the numbers, I mean, there's some of those serious flu pandemics that are just as bad as this, but nobody really gave a shit because it's
Just
the flu. It happens every year.
Right.
Nobody really thinks I'm going to get the flu and die, but then you still have flu seasons where 100,000 people die from the flu.
Right.
So
Specifically
it's
old people and people
young
with
people,
like
the at-risk
respiratory
people. Yeah.
illness.
So it's I wonder if it will, for at least a little while until it eventually fades out of public memory again in another 20, 30 years, will bring into vogue wearing masks during flu season.
Yeah.
Or not having to constantly be around people. But
Right.
it
I'm hoping that's
fucking
one of the
knows?
things that comes out of this is, not having to constantly be around people for some things. Like
yeah,
the
I mean,
transition out of the office into remote working.
just when they were renovating all those buildings so that you had one room with shared air and like 70 people all working in the same space.
Mhm.
So when one asshole got it, all the other assholes got it. You're breathing in Jim's cough from the other side of the building because he's right next to the air
Yeah.
the air vent.
Dude, I mean,
So,
that shit
no.
happened in like our old office and this past year, like in my new place. Like it was in January, and there was one person who came in with the flu, and there was like 5 or 6 people in the office who got it after that. And I started to wonder if it was actually the flu or not. But I mean, shit, back in the old office 2 years ago, we all got it, you know, from one person who came in with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that a beneficial longer term impact is to realize that just because it's the flu doesn't mean that it's not something to be taken seriously, because it
Right.
will still kill, 80 or 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Or, maybe I'm the idiot blowing the flu out of proportion. Who knows? Saying something reasonable like maybe we should wear masks during flu season will probably not go over well anymore.
Nobody's gonna fucking do that. Although
you're
we
infringing
should.
on my rights. Yeah, well, you're infringing on my fucking rights because you're stupid and I gotta be around you. I don't like it.
Get my ass sick.
I do like the people that go and cough on people out of spite and they get charged with assault. That I do love I do think is a brilliant little bit of irony. Yeah. I'm gonna cough on you as a joke. Psych, bitch. That's a felony.
Have fun in jail.
So to go back to the topic of starting a business, don't cough on people because then they will charge you with a felony and you will not be able to start a business from prison. Well, you know what? I take that point back. You can start a business in prison. It's just a lot harder. And honestly, I don't think our tips are really going to apply when you're in prison.
The rules of the game are changed in prison.
I think what's his face? Shkreli is actually running multiple companies out of prison.
I'm sure that dude is.
I respect him in a morbid way. It's just, I was like, man, you hate to like him, but
I know, right?
Some of the shit he pulled out, I was like, well, I can, why can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. But man, it
crazy
I can
times.
tell we're getting closer to the end of this, considering I'm petering out on actual topics for how to start a business. Could just repeat our 3 points. Get the work, get paid, figure out how to do the work. I mean, that's kind of it.
We're gonna say that so many times we just end up going fucking crazy.
I think eventually if we get an actual following, we can make it into t-shirts. And then we can advertise everywhere. And then people will be like, your t-shirts are stupid. It's way harder to start a business than that. And it's like,
is it though?
Yes and no.
No.
Like, are you sure it's harder? It just, I mean, it's more involved, but it just boils down to those few things.
Yeah.
Just do sales, get paid, do the work.
That's all it comes down to.
If you can master those 3 steps, I mean, that's it. You've basically mastered business and you're going to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. And
if you haven't mastered those steps, well, you're like everybody else, and you're probably not going to be a millionaire.
You're a schmuck just like the rest of us.
Or you just get a loan from your father-in-law to go buy an accounting firm and, become wealthy that way. And if anyone was listening and I mentioned a loan from father, they probably thought that was a dig at Trump. Honestly, I hate the fact that you can say that phrase and it can refer to multiple people. I hate the rich. I want to be them.
One day.
And we can take their fucking money. Do you have
Yes,
a cat
sir.
behind you, or is that a dog?
What?
Is that a cat behind you or a dog?
It's my dog.
Oh.
She was asleep.
GG. Aww. See, the thing is, Ryan, this is what you need to do to get people to view.
I was gonna say, this is how we get cheap views right here.
Make it look like the dog is the one talking, and then that's it. Aww. Oh man, I should get mine, but she's sleeping. She's sleeping in the other room.
So she's usually just passed out this whole time, but she's careful. She woke up for some reason.
Oh, so I forgot to mention, but we're We are in the process of getting 4 cats.
4?
4.
Why?
Because having that many cats is awesome.
Hey, yeah, you do. You
We
know.
so it'll put us at 5 cats and a dog. We
Damn.
actually had for a while we had 4 plus the dog. Unfortunately, at this point, 3 of them died of cancer.
Mm,
It's been a really shitty year. Uh, like
yeah, that's rough.
like my favorite cat, who I was kind of my cat and would
Yeah.
hang out with me and all that, died of cancer January 1st.
I think I remember you telling me that, man.
Yeah, this year has sucked from the fucking
Like,
beginning.
Literally the very start of the year. That's shitty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? I should have just realized. Should have just realized it was a sign of the times to come.
So yeah, man, this one's gonna suck.
Yeah, but we're looking at picking up 2 brothers, black tuxedo and then a gray tuxedo,
Yeah.
and so that one's in the we're moving forward process. I think they're talking about setting up a meet and greet next week.
Nice.
To which my response was, I don't really think that's necessary. I just don't think I need to see them to know that I'm gonna like them.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, that's
like-
cool, man.
And then we're looking at 2 sisters who are both tortoise shells.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Couple torties, yeah. It because we had for a while, so we had the black and white tuxedo. We had an orange and white tuxedo, and then we did have 2 torties.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're trying to kind of get back to that.
That's cool.
So it'll be nice to have cats in the house again.
Yeah, dude.
We have
No
the
doubt.
one, but just having one, like, it's not the same. It
Yeah.
really, I don't know. Just having one cat is not. I don't know. I don't like it. Because they're just kind of on their own. They do
Yeah.
they do bond with each other, and they're usually a little more expressive, playful, happy when they've got somebody.
Multiple like
else.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, how would you like to just live in a house all day on your own,
Yeah.
and that's it?
Dude, that's true, because that's like Kathleen had a dog when I met her, and we just had him for like a year when we started living together, and then we got Gigi in April, and having 2 dogs is definitely better than having just one. I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, well, they're also thinking about getting another dog, so we'd end up with like 2 dogs and 5 cats. And I will say that a life goal of mine is to say I got half a dozen cats at home.
Crazy cat lady.
Dude, cats are like, I like dogs, I really do. I like smaller dogs,
Yeah.
but cats just have that like small, fuzzy, cute aspect to them that dogs don't have. I know you're about to argue with me. Dogs aren't fuzzy and are fluffy in the same way that cats are.
That's true.
Yeah, like you can rub a dog belly, but we got a Boykin Spaniel,
Yeah.
and she's adorable, and I love her, and we're going to probably breed her and get another one.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of, because her temperament is, it's amazing when you have a mix of cats and dogs. They honest to God learn from each other.
Yeah.
Because all she's got around her really was cats, so she's pretty cat-like. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
But because she's adorable, and at some point, I guess I should pull her in here, and we could have a dog stream. But because you'll look at her and you'll go, "Aw," and then she'll wag her tail, and then she falls on the floor and rolls over onto her back for you to rub her belly. And I will say that we had a cat that used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you'd rub his belly, it just wasn't like, it was just warm and soft and cuddly, because he was just warm and soft and cuddly, and
Yeah.
he'd lay there like, love me. And it wasn't like the other ones where you go, no, not there. You just rub his belly and he'd be like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's it. You
Mhm.
do that. Yeah, I miss having a bunch of cats.
Nice, man. Well, I hope it works out. Hope you get them.
So do I. I think that's part of the reason why this year sucks so much, is not having cats around. It
Makes
we
everything
always
better.
we always had a bunch of them, and I'd wake up be nestled between my legs, all that good stuff. And not having that this year has sucked,
Yeah.
to say the least. So,
Well, dude, maybe once you get your cats, everything will become better.
I fucking
Just
hope so.
globally. Because apparently that had an effect.
Well, I'm getting a black and white tuxedo to. It may sound a little fucked up, but to basically replace the one that died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna name them the same thing. Like, it's basically like
Just
like
picturing
kind of
the
same thing.
Simpsons snowball.
I think what was it? General Patton always had a dog that had the same name, called him the same. It was the same type, same name, all that, and went through like 4 of them. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pull a Patton and just do that.
Hey, man, you do you.
Yeah, I want my cat. I'm sick of this shit. It was like this weekend. I think I told you where I was going for a run, and I was like, I think the depression's kicking in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there going, moved across country in the middle of a pandemic. We're in an economic recession. All the cats that we held dearly are dead. We're stuck living in a townhouse, and I can't go out and talk to people and do hobbies at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm depressed.
It's kind of messed up when you put it that way.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
just
lot
kind
of
of start
shit.
listing out. Yeah, it's like all the shit that's happened. I mean, even with you is like still, new job, buying a house, engaged,
Getting married.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff, and you sit there and you go, holy shit.
Yeah. For real, man.
It has been a year, and there's still another quarter to go.
I know, right? It can
There's-
only go up from here, right?
Shut the fuck up. This is where we get the headline that North Korea just nuked Iran.
It's like this whole year, I've just been saying, like, when the pandemic started, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll get to July and everything will be back to normal. And it's like, oh, it'll be August. Oh, it'll be September. And now we're in
It'll be
September.
mid
It's like,
2021.
when is it gonna get better?
Well, if it's anything like the Spanish flu pandemic, sometime in 2021, maybe
It's like,
2022.
we're in for a good ride.
Yeah, it's amazing how long it takes viruses to kind of get through everyone's systems, but
Yeah.
Whatever. Fucking God. Who have you seen the Internet Historian videos on the pandemic?
Mm-mm.
Oh
No.
my God, I need to send you those. Have you ever heard of the Internet Historian?
No.
Dude. So he's done kind of mockumentaries on various events that had occurred on the internet, like a historian of internet events.
Yeah.
He's done some fantastic videos. They've got high quality editing. He's got a soothing British voice, so it's nice to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done 2 videos so far on the pandemic and everything that's been going on, and they are hilarious. Like,
Nice.
did you know that I think it was in New York and a few other big cities when it was the heat of the pandemic, they instituted no bail, where you didn't need to post bail to get out of jail?
I did hear about that.
Did you know that one dude lasted 36 minutes before he got arrested again?
Oh my god.
Did you know that they also said that if you're stealing less than $1,000 worth of stuff, we're not going to send the police to come get you?
Whoa.
Did you know that then resulted in people walking into stores, taking a few $100s worth of items, and then walking right out?
Yeah. Like multiple times just throughout the day.
Who could have seen this coming? It turns out when you just disregard the rules that kind of keep people, doing things how they're supposed to, they take advantage of those rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll send you the links after this, but it's
Yeah, man.
hilarious.
I'll have to watch that. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, some of the shit that's happened this year is just like you can't make up what's been going on. I do
Yeah.
love the people now that are like, if anyone makes a zombie movie and it doesn't have groups of people running towards the zombies to get bitten saying that it's a hoax, I'm not gonna believe it. Hey, what's up? Oh, that's fine. The lights in them last pretty long. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You like your new computer? Yep. Mm-hmm. Cool. Alright, good night. Where were we? Talking about how stupid the pandemic is?
Pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
It's just stupid. So stupid. I mean, we can get into politics. I'm sure that'd be fun for anyone that chimes in. Can't wait to have somebody chime in and make mention about Bernie, and then I can go off on an anti-Bernie Sanders rant for like 15 minutes.
Let loose the weekly rant.
I fucking hate him. I hate him so much. Lazy sack of shit.
Good old Bernie.
Don't even praise him in this. He's such a lazy sack of shit. That motherfucker. And then, I don't know, Trump was shit talking some stuff on Twitter, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Something about Nancy Pelosi going to a hair parlor, and he tweeted out that
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know how true that she was set up by the nail parlor, and he was like, well, maybe then the hair parlor woman should be running the House of Representatives and not Nancy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, hate him or love him, his ability to shit talk is respectable. Like, you can't.
Unrivaled.
Like, that'd be the kind of thing where I'd be on a political run going, should I say that? Eh, fuck it, I'll say it. And then that'd be the end of it, because they'd be like, whoa, that's unprofessional. And then I listened to Joe Biden's thing. Did you hear that speech he gave lately?
The acceptance speech? Or which?
It was like yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
I didn't
he
listen
gave
to
a
that one.
speech in like Delaware or something.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that one yet.
I'm amazed that at no point during that we didn't see one of those little like trank darts hit him in the neck, and then his handlers kind of came out and dragged him off the stage, and everybody just kind of ended it and pretended nothing had happened.
Yeah.
Because apparently the only thing that Joe Biden is sure of is that he's unsure why things are happening the way they are. He's like, no, I don't know why they're doing it this way, or I don't know why, or I'm unsure as to what's going on here. And it was like, you know, it doesn't really inspire confidence if the most common words out of your mouth are, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're doing that. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, Joe, there's not a lot of things that make sense to you.
Dude, I am just waiting for these debates. I honestly don't think Biden is even going to show up. Because
is there a
it's just going to
stipulation that you
be
have to participate in the
savage.
debate? I mean, are we about to test that rule out?
He just might, dude. It's like that versus the ultimate shit talker of. It's just gonna
It's
be
like both
nasty.
both of them can ramble in their own way.
Yeah.
One rambles and is incoherent. The other one rambles, and you're like I get what you're saying, but Jesus, dude, like, you just use sentences.
It's just like a total clown show.
It's like they're talking at the same time. Eventually, what'll happen is you'll reach the final debate, and you'll realize that you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh, or you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
What we'll realize is that Joe Biden and Donald Trump were actually two pieces of Exodia, the Forbidden One, and that
They combine
they
into
will-
one.
combined together, and Exodia will just appear there, and that'll be how we'll end.
And then the
2020.
rapture starts. Yeah.
Like, that's it. It by their powers combined.
Oh, hey, we got another viewer. What's up, the Shadow King? Oh, thanks for the follow, the Shadow King.
Man, look at you getting follows and shit.
I'm good. How are you? They must have really liked your Exodia the Forbidden reference.
That's it. That's our marketing thing.
Just bored.
We'll describe everything in terms of how long it takes to summon Exodia, the Forbidden One.
Well, we were talking about our main topic of the night was how to start a business, but we have since gone down rabbit holes of various insanity.
I mean, it's a topic in the same way that when you start talking about random things, that's it. I mean, it's a guiding thing that we try to like pop back to from time to time, but we're just kind of going at this point. Also, shout out to Shadow King for also following me.
Hey.
Congratulations for being my first follow in like a week.
Yeah, same here actually.
Exactly a week.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Fucking Joe Biden and Donald Trump merging into Exodia, the Forbidden One.
If you do have any business questions, feel free to drop them in there. But yeah, dude, that reference was. Huh.
Okay, that's cool.
You're going places.
Well, you better not be. It's a pandemic. Stay the fuck home. The only place you better be going is between your bedroom and the damn living room.
Virtually.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator or something. I truly cannot wait for the debates just to sit there and listen and to truly realize that this is where we're at.
That's what it comes down to for me, man, is like these are the two that are at the pinnacle of this process.
Like, I don't understand how through the whole like candidacy process, right? No one's running point was like, these other assholes are the best we've got, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Dude, it was like the field was open for someone to just come in through the door and say, I'm normal.
I'm just normal everyman. Oh shit, how old are we?
Shadow King. I'm actually 428 years old. I've managed to turn back the clock a few years though.
You were just drawn to look like 15.
Yeah. Get my youthful exuberance back.
I sometimes forget how old I am. No, we're not in our teens.
Far from it, actually.
No, we're in our mid to late 20s, dude. God, just like if they actually did merge into Exodia, I would be less surprised than them having a genuine debate.
I would not be shocked. Let's just say that.
Like, listening to both of them when they start kind of going off on their tangents.
Yeah.
Like, so they asked Joe Biden, and they asked him a great question at the end that he completely disregarded, which was, you said you were kind of talking about the pandemic and the risks back in January. Why were you having rallies until March? Which is a good question. Which is probably hard for any politician to answer, because the answer to that one is because I'm an asshole. But shut the door. But the stream of consciousness that he went on for, I swear to God, like 10 minutes was it was almost like sublime in how incoherent it was. It was talking about something like he was talking about stuff in January and China and we needed to close things, and he was saying all along that China was doing stuff and we knew, and I talked to Trump and gave him his thoughts, and he respectfully thanked me for my input, which I thought was an odd little thing to throw into the middle of it. Was, yeah, I talked to my opponent and he was like, he took my advice into consideration. Okay, I mean, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
and then something about it still was going, and something about how he didn't know how many people, whatever the number of people was dead, and
Yeah.
however many people were infected or whatever, and blah blah blah. And it was by the end of it, it was like, if Lewis Carroll in Alice in Wonderland had basically written something that incoherent of a political leader, you'd be like, no, that would never happen. But it's like both of them that we're dealing with are you could take any of the shit that they've said and put it in a book, and people are like, this is stupid. No one would ever talk that way. No one would
Right.
ever these words would not be put together out of their mouths in such a manner to just go and do this. And here we are in 2020.
5G caused corona. There's not definitive proof that it didn't.
I hate you. Careful, we're gonna get a Twitch ban for spreading false information.
I hate me, I know, right? Breaking the terms of service here.
You're not allowed to send out false information. It's not false. I believe it's true. I reject your facts and substitute my alternative facts.
Alternative facts. Terms of shit.
God. Just... How are people that are so stupid so much more successful than we are?
I often wonder that. Like, how did you get to where you are in life?
Like, I just, like, were they smart when they were younger and then they just became senile? Or, like, what are we doing wrong? Is it the fact that we aren't baby boomers is why we're not allowed to have nice things?
Not yet, at
And
least.
now they're calling millennials echo boomers because they're really starting to act like their parents.
Echo boomers. I haven't heard that
Fucking-
yet.
Yeah, apparently that's another name for the millennials because there was another kind of bump in the birth rates for over them.
Hmm.
Which is great because they were, apparently raised by just shitty people. Although we're technically millennials, though, aren't we?
It goes back and forth, dude. Like, I'm right on the cusp, I'm pretty sure. Like, give or take a few years, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm like the last year that I've seen. And then after that, I forget what came after, Gen Z or whatever.
Something like that. But
Those
the
little
difference,
assholes.
like, they argue, like, I think the base of the millennials is that they did not grow up, like, from the second you were born, you didn't have technology, like, right there, where Gen Z obviously does.
I really
And I'm
wanna
like
say
right
we
on the
would
cusp
all-
of that, dude. Like tech was there, like when I was born. Like we had a computer, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we had like Nintendo 64 and all that from when I was like 5.
Yeah, and like my
You know,
parents
and
had
then-
cell phones and shit.
Yeah, and then it just, I think that what's going to be interesting is that, for those of us during that time period, I mean, we got way more well versed in tech because like it wasn't so user friendly.
Right.
Like you had to figure that shit out to make shit,
Yeah.
work. And now it's like iPhones and Androids are made so stupid user friendly.
Yeah.
Or
Just like
you've
black
got the
box, you
touchscreens.
know.
Like we're gonna hit into a thing where it's it's like just like I can't handwrite for shit because I don't write anything down.
Mhm.
I'm noticing like my younger siblings can barely type.
Really?
Like they don't, which is probably our fault for not giving them like an actual computer. But I mean, so much of what they do would be touch screens
Yeah.
or it just had the keyboard on there,
Right.
and so they like their typing speed is practically non-existent.
Well, dude, I wondered if that like even still existed because it was like 6th grade. I think I had like a typing keyboard class in middle school, like a whole
Yeah,
class.
I had the same thing. I had a computer class in middle school where they went over typing. It was like you just play typing games,
Yeah.
and then you get on PC and having to shit talk people on online games, and you get real good at typing. Or trying to get quick messages out before you got killed. But fucking hell, it's 11:15.
I know, man.
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
It's been a good night.
slept. It's so much shit to do tomorrow. I've got a 3-hour. Well, I had eight emails hit my inbox earlier from one of my clients who sent me just a smorgasbord of statements, end of month statements.
Yeah.
It was like, if you could go ahead and adjust things to these before we have our thing so we can just go over and kind of take care of that or that kind of thing. And it's like 8 goddamn statements for the end of August. So I got to figure out when
That's
the hell
fun.
I'm going to do that. I've got to oversee getting a QuickBooks Online set up. The woman at the company who was trying to get logged in, I tell you, QuickBooks, when you start to like try to set up an account for like clients and shit, is such a pain in the ass. Like I've had problems accepting invitations where it just doesn't do anything. Like for all their money, their website is kind of shit.
Interesting. So what do you just bill hourly for that? Like of just overseeing it or something?
Oh, for the import or whatever?
Yeah.
No, that one's kind of baked into the that's
Oh,
CFO
I
one.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's one of those where I'm not eating a lot of time, but they're getting a really good deal because it's really informative for me.
Yeah.
So I can't let them know that though. I mean, really, I should probably be charging close to double what I'm charging them, but whatever. You know, but dude, I don't fucking know. I got so much shit to do. I'll probably end up working this weekend again.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Hey, what you doing this weekend? Want to do some data entry?
Won't have time for that. No,
Yeah,
I know Kathleen's dad's birthday is Saturday. So we're going to be spending a lot of that with them, and Sunday probably just doing some other shit. Might try like spending some time to update or like add some of this shit up on YouTube or something.
Yeah. We still got to go and get the agency profile updated on Upwork.
Yeah.
But I'll try and.
Yeah, we can do that.
Could probably just take what we've already got together on that pricing sheet and slap it on there.
Mm-hmm.
And just go from there. Need to also do. I debated throwing something on there for some financial statement prep.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured we could either do that or just have, you know, a special project set up where it's just like here's one of the custom made ones. Like you need a balance sheet, it's just this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, we'll see what happens. Those financial statement ones are great, but they've kind of fallen off the wayside lately. It's
Yeah.
like everyone doesn't need them anymore.
It's probably pretty like seasonal, I guess.
Yeah, apparently in the summer there was a lot of refi, a lot of stuff going on, and it does seem to be tapering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I do still see the ones where they're like, we need a CPA letter to sign off on the financials. It's like, you keep using those words, but I don't think those words mean what you think they mean. It's just a little audit. There's never been a little audit in the history of audits.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
But, fuck. Yeah. I'm gonna try and get some sleep.
Say,
Hope
dude, I
that
might
that
call it.
cinnamon roll that I had isn't gonna keep me up all night.
All right. Well,
Shadow
King, if you're still in here, thank you.
It was a pleasure to talk, to chat. Thank you for the squid.
Absolutely. Squid 2. All right, dude. Well, I will see you next time, I guess.
Yeah, see you, Shadow. I'm gonna end the stream here.
Yeah.